Hello, it's Andrew Simpson here from the Federation of Forensic and Expert Witnesses. I'm here to interview Joanne Caffrey, a safer custody expert witness and also the owner of Total Train, a training facility for behavioural problems and safer custody.
Yes.
Okay. First of all then, Joanne, if you could just tell us a bit about your background, your experience, how you got into the field of safer custody.
Okay, so I was a police officer for 24 years.
Okay.
And from 1996 I specialised in custody duties. I was frontline custody sergeant from 1996 to 2003.
Right, okay.
Then I moved into specialist police training and I became a custody trainer. And for the next 10 years I was either teaching custody, assessing custody, completing custody risk assessments, teaching use of force in relation to custody, cell extractions, everything to do with custody from the moment of stop search on the street to the moment of leaving prison. So that was going through police hands, prison hands.
So you worked at the prisons as well as the...
No, I did planning in relation to the prisons.
Right, so yeah, like an assessment of how to deal with that situation.
And also national planning in relation to prison disputes, which might then, if we've seen a mass strike of prison officers, whether then the police and the military needed to go into the prisons.
Right, okay.
Also for prison overflow, so sometimes when the prisons have been too overcrowded and then they've had to move prisoners into police custody. So then
Which has happened recently, hasn't it?
Yes, yeah. So then not only did I act as a custody officer for those prisoners in police custody, but I also then taught the police staff how to be the custody staff for them, because there's some slight variations between how prisoners are dealt with compared to detainees in the police.
Right, so you've got a brilliant background then, and obviously 24 years. So how do you think that's developed from, how did you develop from becoming that side of the field to the academic side of the field?
Yes.
So what's made you sort of turn that corner and go to the, helping them academically?
Yeah, I think significant for me was the late 90s in relation to death in custody starting to become a topic. Then I started doing my own research and writing, and I wrote the first safer detention programme in relation to the police, and that was then rolled out, and in 2012 I received a British Excellence Award for that programme.
Oh right, okay. So that's so that's where you started to get into the sort of the academic side of it, behind the scenes.
Yes. So very much then I focused a lot on the academic side, and then also working on suicide and self-harm reduction, reductions in injuries and deaths during all the restraints. So very much from about 1997-98 I've completed a lot of research, I've designed a lot of training regimes, and then it got to the point where I wanted to further develop it, and so I decided to leave the police so I could pursue it further. Okay,
and this is so you can work as an expert witness with the court cases, but you can also provide training within the industry as a whole.
Yes, because it's not just the custody, it's the use of force throughout the whole spectrum.
Yeah, well that's what I was going to say here. You do a range of cases, but obviously there is one or so is going to be more common. So what is the main sort of case that you come across more than others?
The main theme is the use of force and it's going wrong. And either members of staff have been injured, or the person being restrained has been injured or died. So I've worked in coroners' courts, civil courts and criminal courts, where you've either had people who have died, for example on a mental health unit during a restraint, or we've had members of staff accused of criminal assault.
Yeah, so it's quite a serious, very serious cases, yeah.
Or quite recently I've had a few cases in relation to school staff being injured, or the child being injured in relation to child.
Yeah, so it's the force being used in the restraint that seems to be the common denominator.
The cases I work on are prison custody, police custody, and I've worked with the Independent Office of Police complaints as well in relation to police incidents. Then there's the mental health units, security industry incidents.
Yeah, so it's all the industries.
It's all the industries.
But this problem happens in a lot of these industries.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. In those type of cases then, so if you take on a case with a solicitor, because obviously they instruct you as the expert for the problem they've got for the case, how long are they looking at really for a turnaround for you to put a report in to help them prepare their case?
Maximum is 6 weeks guaranteed.
Right, that's very quick.
And typically I'm getting all the reports, initial reports in within 4 weeks.
Yeah, so if they instruct you, they've definitely got someone who will
absolutely, and the benefit is because I've got another training company, another staff, I can always backfill myself in those roles to clear myself up. So if there's an urgent case, then I have been able to turn a case around within a week.
Yeah, and obviously you've got resources there.
I've got other
as
resources.
A company, which is really good as well. That's brilliant. When you take on a case, then if they obviously instruct you, how many times, or have you got any examples of where your report has been a game changer?
Yeah, on several occasions I've submitted my report and then I've been informed that it was being settled as a result of my report.
Right, at an early stage.
At an early stage, yeah. And then I've also been to coroner's court and my reports have been accepted by the jury.
Right, okay, well that's brilliant then. So they really are effective reports, aren't they? So
absolutely, yes, they have proved to be so far.
And how do you deal with opposing expert witnesses then? So, I mean, you're obviously going to have differing views sometimes. Mm-hmm. So, has there been a time where you've actually, well, there will be, but you've actually won the decision? And
there was a recent case at coroner's where there were 3 expert witnesses involved, and I had one view and the 2 other experts had a different view, and the jury sided with mine.
Right, so even against 2, you've come out on top.
And I think because of the explanation and the fact that not only can I give the academic background behind my opinion, but I've also been there on the front line.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The thing is, you've got a wealth of experience of actually being involved with it to then go on to obviously refine that into an academic, and that's what you feel would make the difference.
Absolutely, and being able to put that across to the jury.
Yeah.
And then plus, quite uniquely in some way or different is the fact that I am female of a certain age.
Yeah.
And typically people who are in my line of work are either ex-male, military.
Yeah, but your experience is vast, so you know you've got that behind you, and you've been there on the front line.
Yeah, from the front line, the academic side of it. I've worked at national levels advising.
How does your expertise differ then from your opposing sort of experts from the other council?
I think where mine stands is because I can say what is typically happening or has happened on the front. I can say how I've dealt with those things, because so far there's not been an incident that I haven't been able to say I've been in that position.
You've actually been in that position, yeah.
And not just on one occasion, but on numerous occasions I've been in that position.
Yeah, well that's definitely going to hold you within good stead.
And then plus over the years I've taught thousands of custody staff and latterly thousands of school staff in relation to the use of force and challenging behaviour. So there's not really going to be many people, is there, that have got the type of experience you've got. Yeah. So saying that, what qualifications do you have then? Because obviously you took it to leave the police force. A dual diagnosis where this person might be detained, but not only have they got a mental ill health, but they might also have a physical ill health. And and you don't think that that's being found, you don't think maybe the prison service and education, they're not quite finding out? No. They're not understanding mental health. And plus I'm finding that, for example, schizophrenia, there's a lot of schizophrenia within the custody section. Now, sometimes that's caused through the damage and issues connected with the misuse of drugs and alcohol as time's gone on. So there's a variety of reasons for why it might have happened, but common basic things are being missed now by a lot of the custody staff, who seem to be getting a level of training in relation to mental health first aid, which is nice as an awareness level. Yeah. Then it's not necessarily physically dealing with it. No. So it's like how do you use tactical communications with a person who's in a psychotic episode? So there doesn't have to be any forceful restraint if you can deal with it. Absolutely. With the correct training on a communication level. And typically in a custody environment, if you were schizophrenic, for example, or having an episode, as a custody officer, I might give you a direct instruction to go back to yourself. Yeah, that wouldn't be the thing to do. No. Or I might even touch you slightly.
Yeah, which again could be...
If you're having an episode, that by far is the last thing I want to be doing, is coming close to you.
You're in danger, I'm in danger.
Absolutely. Instead I need to be backing off and going down tactical communication routes.
Well, this brings it back to training. Now, as part of you more moving forward, you've developed Total Train, haven't you? Which is a training organisation. Tell us a little bit about that then. Obviously you could provide this tactical communication training, but I believe you can train within education, within clinical organisations, prisons. How do you do the training? Do you visit the people? Do they come to you? What courses do you do? Yeah. Do you give us a rundown of Total Train really?
There's a vast amount of courses that we do, and plus we can adapt every course to fit. So we'll have a core nucleus, but then there'll be adaptations for
so they can be tailor-made for certain...
Absolutely, and every one should be. So if somebody is commissioning us, then one of the first things that we do is communicate with those people who are commissioning, to then say, right, who's your demographics, what's your staff, what's this, what's that, and we'll get as much information as possible, and then we'll ask, well, what's your service users, how old are they, what issues are
Do you go on site? And do you go on site and train?
Yeah, most of the time it's on
site.
The
only reason I'm asking that is, because we've found in the past when we've spoken to people, sometimes they come to you and then, they're not within the environment.
Yeah, I prefer to go to the environment.
And you can then see, and they feel that when they take on the training, they're taking it within the environment it's going to occur.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm quite happy at times.
I'm quite happy to visit
and we'll do some observations, so often I'll go with the manager and then they can take me around the environment, we can look at the
and you actually get to understand it, and because you've worked within that industry anyway, you get a feel for it.
Yeah, and what we can also do as well, because I've got a multidiscipline team as well with different strands within the business, we, subject to the agreement of the service and the service user, we can go in and do assessments with the service user to make sure that the training then is all tailored to them.
Yeah, which is brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. Because obviously going and doing a general training operation,
it's a one size fits all. And
and that does, and within this industry, as you've already explained, it isn't going to work like that. Unfortunately, it's different environments, different people, different problems.
Yeah.
Although it might all be a problem with forcible restraint in the end, each one has a different way of handling it. You're not going to handle a prisoner the same way as you're going to handle a young child, are you?
And that's typically a lot of cases I pick up. They've had training, but the training has not been sufficient.
Correct, yeah.
Because it might be ticking the box and go, well, they've had these techniques, but then when you look at it and you go, yeah, but that member of staff is 55-year-old, and that technique that they're doing isn't really...
It's more tailored for a younger...
someone who's 20.
That's right, yeah.
Or the person they're doing it on has a particular disability and it's not suitable for their...
Yeah, so it goes back to training, and you now have got a brilliant company that can provide this.
Absolutely,
It's just obviously making people aware, they get in touch with you, then obviously you'll make an appointment, you'll come and see them, and obviously try and tailor it to help them.
Absolutely, we'll tailor it as much as possible.
Right, that's good. Well, that is prevention rather than cure.
Yes.
Obviously that's obviously stopping the problem before it even starts, if they can be trained. Now, I'd like to take the opportunity as well just to congratulate you on being chosen for the Federation's award for 2018.
Thank you.
This is for the work, your lifetime's work, to deal with safer custody. Here it is on display on the table. Now, I do believe that you've had lots of other awards in your time. Is there any in particular that have stood out, that have, obviously you're proud to have had? Or what's your proudest moment so far?
Oh, I don't know. There's certainly two main training programmes which I received national awards for, and one was in relation to the National Training Award for 2008 and 2009, which was for professionalising investigation for safeguarding vulnerable people.
Okay, these are courses you designed,
yes,
tailored, and then they were approved.
And then I delivered them. Then they were assessed by impartial bodies,
and then given a national award
by the Home Office.
Yeah.
So it was all independently assessed for improvement as well, to see that what did it actually mean on the front line. Sometimes you might have a course and it's nice and everyone puts the happy sheets on, brilliant. But then you've got to look at the front and go, how has this actually saved money, how has it saved lives, how has it streamlined.
Yeah, so what you actually have achieved is actually, it's not just a training programme, it's something that has saved lives,
yeah.
it's saved money, it's
so that one, for
created...
example, the independent analysis showed that all the people who went through that programme actually increased their detection rates in relation to crimes.
It made a difference.
Yeah, crimes against vulnerable people, their detection rates were up by 40% success.
Yeah, so it's very successful. Yeah.
And then in 2012, because I did a lot of custody work from 2006 to 2012 in relation to all the training and development and assessments, in 2012 I received the British Excellence in Performance Award, which was awarded.
So there's some very successful years there.
Yeah.
But you're still receiving awards now.
Thank
it
you.
Still seems to be developing. In conclusion, we're honoured to have presented you with the award. We would like to say to all the solicitors and barristers and QCs that obviously we feel we can totally recommend you as one of our honorary members for them to instruct on any of their cases. And obviously anyone within the education, anyone within the prison service or the clinical industries, please contact you about training. You're totally prepared to visit them.
Absolutely.
And put together a training package which hopefully will prevent any problems with sort of restraint and forceful restraint.
Absolutely.
All right, well thank you for having the interview, Joanne.
Thank
and
you.
all the best for the future.
Thank you.
Right.